It was a bright Saturday afternoon, and the mall buzzed with energy. Shoppers moved from store to store, their arms full of bags, and their faces lit with excitement. In the middle of all this was a popular clothing store. Neat, stylish, and known for being just a little too expensive. Sierra stood outside the glass doors for a moment, holding her breath. She was 16, quiet and thoughtful. Her hands were a little sweaty, and her heart beat faster than usual. Today was important. She had her first school debate in 2 days, and she needed a dress that made her feel strong and confident. Not flashy, just something that said, "I belong here." With a small breath, she walked inside. The store smelled like fresh fabric and perfume. Soft music played from hidden speakers. Racks of dresses stood neatly in rows, sparkling under bright lights. Sierra smiled a little. She loved the color blue. Maybe she'd find something in navy or royal blue. Something bold, like her argument for the debate. From behind the counter, Mr. Collins watched her. He was the manager, an older man with sharp eyes and a neatly combed mustache. He wore a name tag that hung from his shirt like a badge. He didn't smile when he saw Sierra. His eyes followed her closely, too closely. Sierra didn't notice right away. She was focused on the dresses, gently running her fingers across the fabric. She picked out one and held it up. It was simple, elegant, and just her size. As she looked around for the fitting rooms, the air in the store began to shift. Quiet, at first. But something had changed. The calm, warm feeling started to fade. And Sierra didn't know yet, but things were about to get much harder. Sierra found the fitting rooms near the back of the store and walked toward them, dress in hand. As she reached for the door, a sharp voice stopped her. "Excuse me, mister," Collins said, walking up quickly. "Do you need help with something?" Sierra blinked, surprised. "Oh no, I'm okay. I just wanted to try this on." He didn't smile. "Those rooms are for paying customers. We've had incidents before." She looked down at the dress, confused. "I'm going to buy it. I just want to make sure it fits." Mr. Collins folded his arms. "You can't just walk in and act like this is a free-for-all. We have rules here." Sierra's cheeks turned red. Her voice got smaller. "I have money." But he cut her off. "You've been in here too long already. If you're not buying anything, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." A couple of shoppers nearby turned their heads but quickly looked away. No one said anything. Sierra looked around helplessly. Her hands trembled, still holding the dress. "I didn't do anything wrong," she whispered. Mr. Collins didn't care. "You can either leave now, or I'll call security." Sierra's chest felt tight. Embarrassment burned her skin. She slowly hung the dress back on the rack, eyes shining with unshed tears. Without another word, she turned and walked toward the exit. Just as she reached the doorway, someone stepped aside to let her through, a woman in jeans and a simple gray jacket. She'd seen part of what happened, her brow slightly furrowed as she watched Sierra leave. Sierra didn't look back. The woman stood still for a second, then turned and walked into the store. Mr. Collins was already back at the register, straightening papers and looking proud of himself. The woman walked slowly up to the counter. "Excuse me," she said softly. He glanced up. "Yes, I saw what happened just now," she said. "With the young girl." Mr. Collins shrugged. "Oh, her? She was acting suspicious. We've got to protect our merchandise." The woman nodded, looking around the store. "Do you treat all your customers that way, Mr.?" Collins gave a little chuckle. "Just the ones who don't belong." There was a long pause, then the woman spoke again, calm, clear, and steady. "Well, that young lady belongs more than you do." Mr. Collins frowned. "And who exactly are you?" She reached into her jacket pocket and pulled out a card. "Olivia James, CEO of this brand. And you just made a very serious mistake." Mr. Collins' face went pale. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. Mr. Collins blinked, stunned. "Wait, what did you say?" The woman didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "I'm Olivia James. I own this store, and every other one like it across the country." He laughed nervously. You're joking. Olivia held up the card again, firm in her hand. Her name was printed in gold letters. Merkin Bersekin to call. Mr. printed in gold letters. Underneath it, in bold print, Chief Executive Officer. His smile faded. I don't usually visit this location, Olivia said, looking around, but I was nearby and decided to stop in. She stared at Mr. Collins, her voice calm but serious. I watched you humiliate a teenage girl who did nothing wrong. She walked in here with hope in her eyes. She left in tears. Mr. Collins cleared his throat. Ma'am, I was following protocol. She looked suspicious. I've worked retail a long time. You learn to spot trouble. Olivia's eyes narrowed. Trouble? Or black? He opened his mouth, but no words came. I'd like to see the security footage, she said. And I want the name of every employee who's worked under you in the last 6 months. We'll see if this is a pattern. He started to protest, but Olivia turned her attention to a younger employee nearby. Have you seen this kind of thing happen before? She asked gently. The young woman hesitated, then nodded slowly. That's all I needed to know. Mr. Collins looked trapped now. His face flushed red, and his hands fidgeted at his sides. I didn't mean anything by it. I thought I was doing the right thing. You weren't, Olivia said, her voice cool. And now there are consequences. The store, once filled with quiet music and soft chatter, now felt heavy with silence. Something big had just changed. The silence in the store stretched, thick and uncomfortable. A few shoppers nearby pretended to browse, but everyone was listening. Olivia didn't break eye contact with Mr. Plies. You're the manager here. You're supposed to create a space where every customer feels safe and welcome. But instead, you chased a young girl out like she was garbage. I didn't know who she was, he mumbled. She's a customer, Olivia replied. That should have been enough. Mr. Collins opened his mouth, struggling to defend himself. It's just these days, you can't be too careful. Theft is a real problem. Olivia looked at the younger employee again. Can you go find that girl? She left just a few minutes ago. She's probably still in the mall. The young woman nodded and rushed out. Then Olivia turned back to Mr. Collins. I need you to hand over your keys. You're suspended until further notice. There will be an investigation. Mr. Collins looked stunned. Wait, you can't do that. I can, Olivia said firmly. And I am. He tried again. It wasn't personal. But it was, she said. It always is when someone's treated differently because of how they look. A few employees nearby shifted uncomfortably. One of them, a tall man folding sweaters, spoke quietly. It's not the first time, ma'am. Olivia gave a slow nod. Thank you for being honest. Moments later, the young employee returned with Sierra. Her eyes were still red, and she looked nervous walking back in. It's okay, Olivia said gently. You're not in trouble. I'm so sorry for what happened. You didn't deserve that. Sierra looked surprised. I'm the CEO, Olivia said with a warm smile. And I want you to feel welcome here. Sierra's lips trembled. I just wanted a dress for my debate. I wasn't trying to cause anything. Olivia stepped forward. You didn't cause anything. He did. She glanced at the rack and picked out the same dress Sierra had chosen before. Would you still like this one? She asked. Sierra hesitated, then nodded slowly. It's yours, Olivia said, free of charge. And if you want, someone can help you find shoes to go with it. Mr. Collins watched from the side, still frozen, keys now dangling uselessly in his hand. Sierra looked at Olivia with wide eyes. Why are you doing this? Because you matter, Olivia said softly. And no one should ever make you feel small in a place that's supposed to lift you up. In that moment, Sierra stood a little straighter. Something had shifted inside her too. She wasn't just a scared girl in a store anymore. She was being seen. And for the first time all day, she smiled. After a few deep breaths, Sierra followed Olivia and the kind employee to the fitting rooms. The same dress, once left behind in shame, was now carried with pride. This time, no one followed her, no one glared. Instead, she was greeted with warmth and kindness. Inside the dressing room, Sierra tried on the navy blue dress. It hugged her shoulders just right, and flowed gently at the bottom. When she looked in the mirror, she saw someone strong, not scared, someone ready to stand in front of a room and speak with purpose. Outside, the employee waited with matching shoes and a soft smile. "We think these would look great with it," she said. Sierra smiled back. "They're perfect." While she changed, Olivia spoke quietly with the staff. She reminded them what the company stood for: respect, fairness, and treating every customer like they belong. She promised more training and real changes. Mr. Collins stood by the counter, silent. No one looked at him. No one came to defend him. When Sierra stepped out in her full outfit, the room felt different. Even other shoppers noticed. A few smiled at her. One woman whispered, "You look beautiful." Olivia walked up and looked at her with pride. "You're going to do amazing at your debate," she said. Sierra laughed softly. "I hope so." "You've already won the most important one," Olivia replied. "The one where you speak up, even when people try to silence you." Sierra nodded, her heart full. For the first time that day, she wasn't just shopping. She was standing up for herself, and maybe for others who'd been treated unfairly too. As they walked toward the front of the store, people moved aside with quiet respect. Sierra held her head high. The dress bag swung gently at her side, but it felt like a trophy. Outside the store, the air felt fresher. Sierra walked beside Olivia, the dress bag in one hand, her phone in the other, as she texted her mom to come pick her up. Olivia stayed with her, waiting near a bench just outside the store. "You really didn't have to do all that," Sierra said quietly. "I did," Olivia replied, "because I've been where you are. I know what it's like to be followed, questioned, treated like a problem before you say a word." Sierra looked up at her. "But you're the CEO." Olivia smiled gently. "That didn't stop people from judging me. It just means now I get to do something about it." A car pulled up at the curb. Sierra's mom stepped out, her expression changing from casual to concerned the second she saw her daughter's face. "What happened?" she asked, rushing forward. Before Sierra could answer, Olivia stepped in and gently explained everything: what Mr. Collins had done, how Sierra had been treated, and how it had been handled. Sierra's mom's eyes filled with tears as she hugged her daughter tight. "Thank you," she whispered to Olivia. Olivia handed Sierra a small card. "If you're ever interested, we have a student internship program. You've got a spark. I can see it." Sierra held the card like it was made of gold. "Thank you." As they drove off, Olivia turned back to the store one last time. The sunlight hit the windows, and inside workers were moving quietly, cleaning, folding clothes, avoiding Mr. Collins, who now sat behind the counter, eyes low and spirit smaller than before. That evening, Sierra stood in front of her mirror at home. She wore the new dress again. Her speech cards were spread out on the bed, but her focus was on the reflection. She didn't just see a girl anymore. She saw a speaker, a leader, someone who had been tested and didn't shrink. On the day of her debate, Sierra stepped onto the school stage with a steady voice. Her heart still beat fast, but it no longer raced from fear. Her words were clear and confident. She talked about fairness, justice, and finding strength even when others try to make you feel weak. No one in the room knew about the store, but they could feel her fire. And when the debate ended, people clapped, loud, real, proud. Backstage, Sierra smiled to herself. "I didn't just find a dress," she whispered. "I found my voice." If you were moved by Sierra's story and the power of standing up for what's right, don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts below. If you believe that every voice deserves to be heard and treated with respect, make sure to subscribe for more stories that inspire and make a difference.